Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Getting Started with myPATH. I'm Cindy Nellis. I'm the director here at the Penn West University Clearing Small Business Development Center, and I am happy that you're with us. Today's webinar is the first of 4 webinars in our 2025 tax series training events. The Pennsylvania SBDC program is partnering with the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue to provide training to answer many questions that business owners have about taxes. Today, we will be discussing how to get started with the Department of Revenue's self-service portal called myPATH. We will cover what type of profile users should be creating, as well as how to successfully register, gain access to both personal and business-related accounts, and explain what features are available through the portal, both as a logged-in user or a non-logged-in user. Before we get started, let me just give you a few reminders. If you have a question for our experts, we have a team of a panel of team members from the Department of Revenue that's here to answer your questions. So we ask that you put that into the Q&A portion of our webinar. If you have a question for me, your host, please add that into the chat. And then just a quick reminder, we will be sending you the presentation slides that you see, as well as the recording from today's webinar. So look for that in your email, maybe later this afternoon or early tomorrow morning. Before we get started, also, I'd like to introduce you to the Pennsylvania Small Business Development Center program. We are a grant-funded program with a mission to help businesses start, grow, and prosper. We provide education, information, and tools to help you, our business owners, make better business decisions. We spend most of our time offering our business consulting services, which is offered at no cost and it's confidential. We also offer a variety of training on topics that our small business owners need. Those topics change over time, so we encourage you to stay in touch with us, take a look at our emails. We do send out emails through my center as well as through our lead office. So I encourage you to take a look at those and see what applies to you. Most of them are at no cost, some of them are low cost. In addition, we also purchase a lot of databases that we use to provide you information related to market research and industry information. So if you haven't connected with the Small Business Development Center, we encourage you to do that. Become a client, request assistance, and connect with us today. In Pennsylvania, our network is made up of 15 centers, all located at institutions of higher education. Take a look at your county and the SBDC that covers your county. Please know that we do travel. We target providing our services in your neighborhood. We don't expect for you to come to us. However, we do many virtual meetings. We also do phone meetings and, of course, in-person meetings. If you haven't registered to become a client, we encourage you to do that. I'll be sending this link out. All you have to do is request assistance, and one of our many business consultants throughout our network will get in contact with you. Of course, they would be a business consultant at the center that covers your county. And of course, there's no wrong door. You can always contact my center or me directly, and I give you that information here on this slide. So I'd like to introduce you to our speaker from the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue. It is Stephanie Schreck. Stephanie has over 20 years of experience in customer service. She currently works as a research analyst in the core division of the Customer Experience Center. She started her career as a phone representative with the Customer Experience Center back in 2019. Through the years, Stephanie has served many different roles within the Bureau, all of which have allowed her to work directly with the customers of the Department of Revenue. Stephanie, thanks for being with us today. I'll stop sharing so that you can share your screen.
Okay, thank you so much, Sydney. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Again, my name is Stephanie Schreck, and I'm with the Core Division with the Customer Experience Center here with the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue. So we will get started here. Just give me 1 second. Everybody is, all right,
I
there
can
it
see it
goes.
fine. Thanks, Stephanie.
Perfect. You're welcome. All right. All right, so today our agenda, as you can see here, we will be discussing what myPath is. We will be breaking it down regarding non-logged in versus logged in features, and we will wrap up by reviewing some of our important resources that are available to assist with any additional questions that you might have after today. All right, so what is myPath? myPATH stands for My Pennsylvania Tax Hub. This is the online customer service portal that provides a lot of self-service options, such as registering for new tax accounts, accurately and securely filing returns, making payments, managing your accounts, and also interacting with the department. It is very important to understand what you can do through myPath because this is by far the fastest and most efficient way to interact with us. Additionally, we do have an entire team of experts that is designing and enhancing the functions available through our portal. So they are always keeping security at the forefront of all the conversations when it does come to these enhancements. There are several benefits to using myPath. As you can see, it is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, meaning you don't have to wait for the offices to be open to do like responding to a letter, making payments, or even requesting an address change. myPath is also compatible with most devices and most of the browsers available, meaning you can file your returns, make payments, not just from a computer, but also a smartphone or an iPad if you would like. Our system is programmed with error reducing calculators. So this means by using our portal, there is much smaller chance of having a mathematical error occurring, which does happen quite often and could cause delays with processing of the returns and possible refunds. And then also our portal is very intuitive. Based on how you answer the questions, the system will determine what information would be needed along with your return and will require you to upload these items before the submission is complete. And then lastly, you do receive an instant confirmation. So every transaction that is completed on myPath will provide a confirmation number. So you can refer back to this confirmation number when you call in to us with the Customer Experience Center so we can provide assistance. Okay. So since most of us here today are, most of you are small business owners, it is important for you to understand what is available. myPath is the only way to electronically manage your business accounts with the department. Also, when we do discuss myPath, we break it down into non-logged in versus logged in features. So we are going to start with what the non-logged in features are. So when we refer to non-logged in, we are referring to anything that can be done on the homepage of myPath. This means you do not need to have a profile, meaning a username or like a profile created or password. You will notice by the image on the slide here that our homepage is broken up into different panels based on the functionality that is available to you. So the first panel is we have our payments panel. This is where you would go to remit different types of payments to the department. The first hyperlink is the make a payment. This particularly does apply to individuals, trusts, some use tax customers, pass-through entities, and also sometimes the other tobacco license holders. Most commonly, this would be if you are a sole proprietor to or an entity filing under your social security number and completing a PA 40 Schedule C, in which case you could use this option to submit estimated payments, extension payments, or a voucher payment with your personal income tax return. There is also the ability to pay a bill, make a wage garnishment, or a bank attachment payment under this option as well. To be able to make one of these types of payments, you do need to have your letter ID issued by the department to be able to complete the process. Next is the Track My Payments and Credits. This is very helpful for anyone that is remitting estimated payments. We do encourage customers to verify estimated payments prior to submitting your personal income tax return. Also, this feature will show any credits or net operating losses that could be available towards corporation accounts. All right. Then we do have our pay off a lien feature. If you do have a lien filed due to back taxes, you could use this feature to resolve that delinquency using the lettered ID notice and the docking number. And then lastly is we have our set up a payment plan. This feature is one of the very few hyperlinks on the homepage that actually prompts you to log into an account. Because to request a payment plan, you do need to have an established profile to complete this action. All right, our returns panel is, of course, where you would go to file a personal income tax return. You will see the first option, again, is filing for personal income tax. We also have it available in a Spanish format as well. All right. Now, I do know a lot of you here today are for sole props, but I wanted to just mention about filing the personal income tax return because when asked the question of did you file for the last 2 years, the system will require the line 12 information on that year's return to be entered. Most customers actually don't know that they can select the no option here and then be able to validate themselves by using their Pennsylvania state ID or issued driver's license. Okay. All right. And then also in the returns panel, we do have the how to file a business tax return link. This, again, is another option that is just going to prompt you to log into an existing profile because most business tax functionality has to be done through an established profile. Then we do have file a used tax return. This feature can be used for personal income tax or even business use tax. Now, the system is intuitive enough to know if you have a sales and use tax account, and it will prompt you to file and pay through their sales tax account if that is the case. And then lastly, we do have, you can see any amounts from a 1099-G or a 1099 INT that are issued by the department for any overpayments or interest that you've received in prior years. It is important to note that this is not regarding anything for unemployment compensation. If you are in need of information regarding unemployment compensation, you will need to contact the Department of Labor and Industry directly. All right. The next panel is the registration panel. And this is where you would locate the PA online business tax registration application, which has replaced the old PA 100 application. This panel is for brand new entities, meaning brand new into the state. If you are already registered for any type of tax with the department, and you would need to get an additional license, you would complete that action as a logged in function, which we will discuss later on. Now, if you are a sole prop operating under your Social Security number, and you are trying to register for a business license, you will need to create a profile using your legal last name and Social Security number because you have an existing account due to filing personal income tax. All right. We also have an option in this panel for the nonprofit sales tax exemption. this is referring to the REV 72 form. This is not going to provide any information for verifying an REV 1220 exemption form. So again, brand new entities should be remitting their application from the homepage. Existing entities would be renewing their exemption status as a logged in function. The rebates panel. This is in regarding to the property tax rent rebate program. This is the link. We have the link to be able to apply for the program, and then also be able to check the status of a possible rebate as well here. We won't go into many more details since this does not really apply to you, but we just wanted to mention the panel. The refunds panel, this is regarding a personal income tax refund or overpayment. Again, we understand this does not pertain to this audience. We're just covering it because it is available on the homepage. Okay. Sometimes you could receive an ID verification notice. These actions can be completed directly from the homepage. Generally, this means taking an identity verification quiz or even entering a verification code provided on a notice that is sent from the department. You would need to navigate to this panel, again, to complete those actions. All right, so the additional services panel. This is probably the most important panel when you are interacting with the department. If you receive a notice that you need to respond to, meaning you need to provide additional documents or proof of payment, you will want to use the link here that is respond to a letter. By using this feature, it will place an essential hold onto the account, especially if you are responding to a billing notice, so that it does not continue through the collections process. Please be aware that if you are trying to respond to an assessment notice, unfortunately, you are not able to respond to these notices through the system because the only option available is to petition with the Board of Appeals once an assessment notice has been issued by the department. To use the respond to a letter function, you do need to have the letter ID and your account validation, meaning either your EIN or social security number. All right, and this is why we like to refer to this as our golden ticket, because again, this is the most accurate and recommended way to be able to respond to notices with the department, because when you use this feature, you do receive a confirmation code, confirmation number, and then the correspondence does post directly to your account. So there's no waiting for the mail to be received and then for it to be scanned into the system. It's pretty much posted to your account right away. So it enters the processing queue a little bit quicker than sending by email or even possibly mailing the correspondence. The Find a Submission feature, this is used if you need to complete a saved application, or if you need to cancel a possible pending payment. You would come out to Find a Submission. You would need to have your email address and the confirmation code that was provided for the app saved draft or payment to be able to complete this action. Unfortunately, this feature cannot be used to be able to track responses to a letter. To be able to check a status of a response, you still do need to contact us in the Customer Experience Center to obtain an update status. Tax due dates, it's exactly what it sounds like. This feature will allow you to enter your account type, filing frequency, and receive the different due dates per that filing, the selective filing period. Additionally, you can retrieve printable copies of W-2Gs. These are the issued from the Pennsylvania Lottery regarding gambling and lottery winnings. The penalty and interest calculator is, again, exactly what it sounds like. This will calculate any possible penalty or interest due based on the amount of tax for the specific account type, depending on how late the return or payment are. And last but not least, we do have an option to track the status of an inheritance tax return. The next panel on the homepage is our tax compliance panel. From here, you can request a corporation lien certificate. If you are not familiar with this certificate, it is a document issued by the Department of Revenue, which reflects corporation tax liabilities for a named entity. Please note that a lien certificate is not a substitute to a corporate tax clearance or a bulk sale clearance certificate. There is a $2 fee associated with a corporate lien certificate. Unfortunately, that payment does still need to be mailed into the department. Also, if you receive a letter from the department asking you to verify and update your contact information, you can do that from this panel as well. Okay, and lastly, we have our Learn More panel. This panel has links to resources and information that you may need when using myPATH. All of these items can also be found on the department's website. The myPATH video tutorials are our Revenue 411 instruction videos that we have put together that do kind of walk you through the functions available on myPATH. The customer service link takes you directly to our online customer service center to be able to review our current frequently asked questions or our FAQs that are active out there to be able to assist with questions. Tax forms and instructions will take you directly to the department's website to obtain forms and instructions regarding the tax type. And the Contact Us takes you to the page that does provide you all of our contact information, including phone numbers, district office information, mailing addresses, and more. Okay, so logged in features, on the other hand, are things that you can do after you have created a user profile and have gained access to the appropriate tax account. As mentioned earlier, most of the business tax functions are a logged in feature. So you do want to make sure you are just kind of taking a look at this next section in detail. Okay, so we are going to start with just walking through what it is like to be able to create a profile. By creating your profile, it's very important because it will help you with filing returns and submitting the payments on time. So from the home page, you will navigate to our login box and simply select the sign up link. Next, you will see a screen showing you what you can do without signing up, and the additional options are available when you do create a profile. And also what criteria that you do need to successfully create your profile. Then you could either select the sign up for myPATH or simply select next. We do provide you an electronic correspondence and communications agreement. Read through the terms and conditions and then select the box stating that you do agree. And then we will hit the next option. So you will need to fill in your profile information, phone number, and also select no to being a third-party tax professional in the identification panel. So for our example today, we have our information in. Once we've selected no here, we now have an option that we can select either a federal employer identification number or a social security number. Most new business owners, those are the two options that you are selecting. So for our example, we are going to select a federal employer identification number. You'll enter the appropriate ID number on the line provided, and then you will need to enter the business name exactly as it is in the department's records. So word advice is that this should be the legal name of the business. So however the business was registered with the Department of State, that is how it should be entered here to start the profile. Again, sole props, you will be using your last name because you are running your business under your social security number. And then you would click next to proceed to the next step. All right. So once all of that has been done, the next screen you are presented with your account validation. This is where you will choose the account type that you're trying to gain access to. Please keep in mind, myPATH is everything is driven by tax type. So you will need to add access to each tax account that you would have. And we will talk about this a little later on. If you have more than one tax account, we do recommend that you select the one that's easily validated to be able to get the profile started. Okay, so for our example, I am selecting corporate net income tax. Now, as you can see here, it is asking me to choose a validation method, meaning a letter ID, the online business registration confirmation number, payment amount, or a return line item. It is very important to note that if you are selecting the payment amount or the return line item, this cannot be zero. And also has to be more than 15 days old in the system. So you can't make a payment today and then use that same payment amount to validate the account. You would have to use something that was done more than 15 days ago. If you are unable to use one of the 4 validation methods, you would need to request an access letter to be able to gain access to the account. Now, there are a few times that the account validation might not be available for you, and this is due to the account having FTI or federal tax information. If the account has this on it, then an access letter is required automatically. Access letters do take 30 business days to be received from the date requested. Also, this is sent to whatever the current address is on file. So it's very important that you do keep your address information up to date with us because this could delay you receiving an access letter if you need one. If you are a third party requesting an access letter because you're trying to obtain access to your client's account, this letter is sent to your clients directly. Then your client will provide the letter to you to be able to finish gaining your access. If this is very important to note, if you do need to make a change to your business address, you will need to complete the REV 1705R form, okay? This is important because we must have this form because we cannot make just changes verbally requested over the phone. This form can be submitted directly to the resource account that is listed on the document. What will happen is once it is received, the necessary changes would be made. If an access letter would need to be reissued, we would be able to do so at that time based on the new address. Another item to mention is that access letters can only be sent via the mail for security reasons. So unfortunately, they cannot be requested to be received any other format. If you have a corporation account and you need to update your address for a corporation, they do have a separate form, and that form is the REV 854. Again, this document does need to be submitted directly to the resource account listed on the document, so that way we can ensure proper processing and handling is completed for this item. All right, So again, back to our example, I've selected corporate net income tax. I've now selected a return line item. I've entered the amount. Now there is an opportunity to be able to opt into electronic mail delivery. You do not have to opt into this right away. You can select no and still have the chance to opt in at a later time. But just for practice here and examples, we're going to select yes. And then I would hit the submit button at the bottom of the page. This now leads us to our confirmation screens. Again, anything that is completed in myPATH, you are provided a confirmation. It is very important to look over the confirmation because sometimes you are provided with additional instructions to be able to complete the process here. So as you can see in the bolded print, it is advising me to log in with my username and password. So for our example, we're going to pretend that I'm logging in with my new username and password. By doing this, this is now taking me to the next step to be able to finish setting up my profile. We do ask that you do select a two-step verification action. A two-step verification action is going to send you a security code to be able to get into the profile. Again, this is just additional steps for security because we are trying to make sure everything is as secure as possible. So we are going to select text message. The department does recommend using the text message feature more than the other two options because everybody has a cell phone nowadays. Also, by doing the text message option, you can get the code a little bit quicker than, let's say, through an authenticator app or even via email. So I'm going to enter my phone number. I am then going to obtain my security code and enter it into our system and hit the confirmation button here. Now it is my chance to be able to finish setting up my profile. Here, once you get to this section, you can actually put your name. You can select a secret question. When it comes to the secret questions, we do recommend that you select an option that's not going to change frequently. Some of these secret questions are not a very normal secret question. So if you select one and it could possibly change at any point in time, that could affect you in the future of being able to do a reset option. So just be mindful when you are selecting your secret questions. You can also add an additional phone number here. And you can also set up for due date reminders, but it is not a requirement. Due date reminders can be set up at any point in time once your profile is established. All right, so once you've hit save, you're now able to see your information. So as you can see here on my example, I have, validated my corporate net income tax and I have access to it. myPATH will always open up to our summary tab. This is basically the beginning point of myPATH. But as you can see, I have full access to my corporation account. But underneath of that, I now have additional tax accounts that I need to obtain access to. You would have to make sure you do select the add access to this account link under each additional tax account to be able to see that information. Okay. Also, if you have a sales tax account, you would want to make sure that you do add access to the sales and use tax account and the license account to be able to get copies of licenses or even notices regarding that tax account as well. All right. So again, once you've selected that, you do need to set up just additional access for each account that you are requesting status for, okay? So after gaining the access, again, as you can see here, I have many different options that are available. myPATH does always default to the summary tab. Most of the features that do require some actions are housed either on the summary tab or the more tab. Okay. So again, from the summary tab here, we have make a payment. We can view returns in periods, and we can also file our returns. All right. So now this does lead me into the more tab. This is where you're going to be able to find all different actions that are available. Just like the home page, the More tab is broken down into panels. So our first panel is our account panel. This is important because this is used by existing entities who need to request additional tax licenses. So if you currently have a sales tax account and now you've hired an employee and need to get an employer withholding account, this is the panel that you would navigate to be able to obtain that additional access. Okay. The submissions panel, works very similar to find a submission feature on the homepage, but this will just show you anything that you have currently submitted under your profile. The message panel, this is how you can actually submit the messages directly to the department. This is the best way to interact with the department on all matters except for responding to a notice. Also, this is where you can go to be able to set up your due date reminders and also manage your email subscriptions. Okay. The letters panel is where you can locate any notices or letters sent by the department. This could be billing notices. This could be, even notices with your licenses attached to it. Unfortunately, for security reasons, the only notices that you will never be able to locate in this panel is an access letter or one of the ID validation letters. Okay. The payments and return panel, this is where you can go to be able to track any payments that you currently have, no matter what the status is. You can also come here and be able to request any possible refunds when it comes to a business tax. And then also, if you are in need of a payment plan, you would select the payment plan link to be able to see if you are eligible. If you are eligible, you will be able to proceed to be able to request a 6 month or 24 month plan based on your eligibility. Next, we do have our names and addresses panel. This is used to keep your account information up to date. So this is a very important panel to remember, especially if you need to, manage or update any license or license locations or corporate officers or responsible parties. This panel is going to be where you would go to complete those actions. And then we have the access management panel. This is important because this is where you go to be able to request access to additional accounts, especially for third parties, tax professionals. And then we do have the applications panel. Recently, we have added the research and development tax credit application link here and the nonprofit sales tax exemption application as well. And then you can also be able to search your applications that you have submitted. All right. Another important link available on a profile is the Manage My Profile link. This is how you can complete some certain self-service options available. Okay, so once you are in Manage My Profile, it will automatically default to the Profile tab. And this is where you can go to be able to make changes to an email address. So if you accidentally registered your profile and you misspelt your email, this is where you can go to be able to correct that. Or update your secret question or update your two-step verification settings as well. But we do have an additional More tab. Okay. This More tab is slightly different than the one attached to the Summary tab. But this one, we do have some additional features here just to call out here. Okay, so if you are a business and let's say somebody in your employee creates your profile and they leave the business and you've hired somebody new to take over their responsibilities. This panel is very important because this is where you would go to be able to update the administrative access using the administrative access change request. Okay. All right. So now let's just discuss some different resources again that are available to you folks here today. So again, we do have a Revenue 411 videos. This is something that we've created to be able to assist our customers navigating the myPATH system. Okay. Most of them are designed around myPATH. We are always adding new videos at any time. So we just want to make sure that you are aware that they are out here for you. All right. We also have an item that's called Pathfinder. This is available on the myPATH system, located in the upper right-hand corner. This is a chat bot, meaning it is designed as a virtual assistant. It's going to try to help you with certain questions, but it will not connect you to an agent. It's just going to try to assist you, again, as like a virtual assistant. We have our support ID. Requesting a support ID and providing that to a customer service agent will allow us to assist you to be able to see your screen, so that way we can give you real-time help when you are experiencing some issues. To do that, you would hit the question mark in the right-hand corner and select the View Support ID. Once you've selected that, you are provided a pop-up, just basically letting you know it's just allowing us to remotely review your session. You must hit yes to be able to obtain the actual support ID code that is provided to the customer service agent. All right, so that does conclude our presentation today. Thank you very much. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thanks, Stephanie. I know there's
You're
a
welcome.
few more questions. So while we let your experts answer those questions, I'm going to throw out a poll. Let's see here a second. There we go. And then as a reminder, I will be sending out this recording along with the presentation slides that you saw today, probably sometime before the end of the day or first thing tomorrow. So we appreciate everybody that has come. Stephanie, thank you for your time and of course, for the time of your team of experts. Let's see, I'm just going to kind of hang out and let you guys kind of address the questions there. And as a reminder, we have 3 more webinars that we have planned before the end of our calendar year. The first one is October 8th, or I guess I should say the next one is October 8th, Pennsylvania Taxes for New Businesses. That is packed full of a great amount of information. November 12th, we have Sales Tax Basics. That's a very popular one. And then we round out the year with on December 10th with Withholding Basics. So all 3 are great. Hopefully you have signed up for them. If not, I will send you the link to our training events and you can sign up. It's great to be able to have the ability to share the recording. So if you are not available during our noon lunch and learn time, we still encourage you to register because we do share the recording and the presentation slides with everybody who registers. You don't have to attend to get it. Of course, we love it when you attend. It gives us a chance to answer your questions live as we are right now. Okay. All right. All right. So I do have someone who did post a question, and Stephanie, I'm going to send it over to you. Um, she is not able to see the Q&A and she can't post it. So her question is, if someone files my taxes, would I answer yes to the third party question?
I can answer that live. So the only time that that question is answered yes is if they are registering for like a profile because they are a paid tax professional. That is what that question is referring to. Now, if they're creating a profile to be able to handle their account, they would answer no.
Great. Thank you. A lot of great information. Definitely want to remind everyone that there's a lot of great videos that you can also watch. We referenced that today during today's webinar. But I encourage everyone to go out and take a look at the Department of Revenue's website. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so with that, gosh, we're going to end a little early today. So again, thank you for being here. Look forward to having you join us for upcoming webinars. Stephanie and team, thank you for being here. And I will go ahead and end today's webinar. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.